An experience that made me wake the fuck up was traveling with a black person. Now, I travel alone for work a lot, right? And I've never faced a problem. And I'm talking about internationally. Like, I've been to Paris, to Italy, to Switzerland, blah, 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 all over Europe. And I've never had a problem because I look white as fuck. I blend in. I blend the fuck in. Everybody's mad nice to me. And then I traveled with one of my black coworkers, and it was a completely different fucking experience. All right, I'm talking about like they act like we don't belong. The treatment was also towards me because like she was with me. Like, oh, she has a black friend. They must be fucking hoodlums together. Like, one lady fucking at the hotel, like, we were looking for water, and she's over here like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean what the fuck I'm doing? I'm looking for water. Water's only for guests. But I'm a fucking guest. What room number? And I gave her my room number, and I'm a fucking diamond member at the Hilton, motherfucker. And she got scared. Right? And then another restaurant, they hit us behind a fucking pole. And I'm like, yo, do you notice this? Like, why the fuck are we, like, in this fucking corner behind a pole? And she was like, because I'm black. God forbid a black person is eating at the restaurants and people fucking see. She's like, I'm so used to this. Europe is so fucking racist. And I'm like, but so is America. So is everywhere. Even fucking Africa. It's fucking sad. It's fucking sad. And it really woke me up. I'm like, fuck. This is fucking sad.
Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson, and Lord willing is edifying to the elect, double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone who rule well, the leaders of all Israelites in these end times, showing us the correct way to salvation. Shalom to you, Akwaf in order, I mean, and you Israelite sisters that are in order. Shalom to you, and shalom to you brothers out there teaching on the highways and hedges, giving up your body as a living sacrifice. And shalom to you Israelites that look like these other races of people, but your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, making you a Hebrew Israelite, because it ain't about color. It is about the chosen seed line, and our seed was scattered among all nations. Therefore, we're going to look like all nations. All right. So shalom means peace be unto you. So peace be unto all the elect of Israel. So the title of this lesson will be, they that hate thee shall be clothed with shame. You know, roughly paraphrasing, you know, somewhere along them lines. You know, because the whole world hates us as so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, the biblical Israelites. The whole world hates us. And, you know, the whole Bible speaks on this, you know what I mean? Because it's such a major issue in the world that we live in today, you know. Why would it not be biblical? You know, it's such a major thing. Everything's about race, you know. You got one race of people at the top hating another race of people at the bottom of society. And the Lord is about to do a switcheroo, man. Okay, he's about to show who he really loves, all right? Because the whole world hates the people that they should be loving, but, you know, unfortunately, we're under curses. The Bible speaks about this, and, you know, nothing's going to change. We're always going to be hated and looked down upon until the day of the Lord, until the Lord comes, all right? And then all will be revealed, and the people that hated us will bow down at the soles of our feet and basically worship the ground that we walk on, man, okay? Because we ultimately are the saviors of the earth, man. We're the ones that are going to save the earth, you know, through Yahweh Shai, you know, the righteous rulers of the new earth that's come into the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be here on earth. You know, the whole world's going to be beautified under our authority, because we're going to rule this earth with an iron rod, put it back in order, and everybody is going to receive the peace that they've been looking for eventually, except for the Edomite, because they're out of here, pursuant to Obadiah 1:18. But anyway, as you saw in this clip, I thought this was a good one to open it up with. I've had this for a little, you know, a few months, maybe 2 months or so. And, you know, this woman right here, she explains her experience, you know, traveling with her so-called black co-worker, right? And now this woman right here, I believe to be a Jake for many reasons. And don't people, the curses aren't on her as heavy because she blends in. She looks like a so-called white woman. She has the appearance, so, they treat her differently. But as soon as they see her with a so-called black woman, then, they kind of look at her a bit different, like, maybe you're a light-skinned one of them, when, as before, if she was solo dolo, they wouldn't have looked at her like that. She would have just blended in, like she said. And she noticed that the treatment was extremely different, right? This is all biblical, all right? And it's coming to an end. All this nonsense of hating us is coming to an end. Now, I ain't saying that Jake is innocent, because Jake is not innocent. Jake being short for Jacob, the children of Israel. Jake is not innocent, man. Jake out here running around like little hoodlums and, little thugs and, loud, ratchet, baby mama, drama. You know what I mean? We fit the stereotypes, man. But, that ain't our real nature, okay? Scriptures speak about the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the ways of the wicked seduceth them, okay? So us being scattered and forced to live around these heathen, it has an impact on our upbringing, okay? Especially when we're packed in societies that they put us in where there is no resources, people struggling for jobs, and the only choice a lot of Jakes have is to sell drugs, and that is the honest truth. I mean, that is literally the only way for some people. I've seen it. And Jake is looked down upon, but Jake does bring a lot of things upon himself. So what I'm going to do is bring out a scripture to start with in the book of Baruch, chapter 3, starting at verse 8. This is a good place to start, right? It says, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity." So wherever we live right now, whether it be England, Germany, France, America, if it's not the land of Israel that was stolen from us by them fake JEWs, then we're in our captivity. We're in the land of our captivity because we've been scattered among these heathens. And now we're having to force to, be like them and tiptoe around them and please them and keep them comfortable, man. So it says, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us, thou being the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai." He scattered us, okay? And it's going to explain why he did it. It says, "For a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments." See, so we're stuck paying bills and having to struggle, not making ends meet, working a couple 9-to-5s to survive. This is part of the curses, man. And when we're put back in our own land, life ain't gonna be like this for us. All right. It says, "Where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse." So this is why, we are a reproach and a curse among the people, man, because the Lord made it so, okay? Until we acknowledge our offense and come back to him. This is what repentance is about. Repentance is feeling sorry for your actions, okay? So this is what this is the mind state we got to be in. We got to come back to the Lord humbly, because he's punishing us as he does a child that he loves, which we are his children, the children of Israel, and he's chastising those he loves, okay? But all he's waiting for is for us to repent and come back to him and acknowledge our offense, man. And he's he's merciful enough to forgive us, okay? So it says, "And to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers which departed from the Lord our power." So our ancestors got us in this sticky predicament, man. All right. And it says, Hear Israel, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom. Okay. It says, "How happeneth it, Israel, that thou art in thine enemy's land, and that thou art waxen old in a strange country, and thou art defiled with the dead. Okay, because these people are spiritually dead. They don't know the Most High. All right, they're all praising false gods, or they're either atheists or praising false gods, man. So we're defiled with the dead. Okay, we're waxing old in a strange land, our enemy's land. Okay, and it says in verse 11, thou art counted with them that go down into the grave. Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom, right, which is this truth. A lot of our people reject the truth that can bring them salvation. And it says in verse 13, it says, for if thou hadst walked in the way of the Most High, thou shouldest have dwelled in peace forever. But, because we forsook the Lord, now we have no peace. We have no rest living among these people, man. Let me quickly turn to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. And we're going to bring out verse 37. And this is what the Lord did to us, because the curses are right here in the Bible in Deuteronomy 28. And it says, let me just start here real quick at verse 1, right? So this is what would happen if we listened to the Lord, our ancestors, if they would have hearkened unto the Lord and kept his ways. It says, and it shall, Deuteronomy 28:1, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. See? So we would be above all races of people. We would be the superior ones, which we still are. But the Lord will put us in our rightful position, except for, we went off and the Lord put us on the bottom when originally we're supposed to be at the top. All right. So if you read Deuteronomy 28:1 all the way down to 15, it explains the blessings that would happen to us. We would be ruling the earth right now and the world would be at peace. So the reason everybody's struggling, the whole world's in chaos, is because of us ultimately. All right. But, the Lord is going to have mercy on us, which we'll get into in just a second. But verse 16 on down, if you go to start at verse 15 on down, it explains what would happen if we went off and sinned against the Lord, right? So I'm going to read verse 15, then I'm going to jump back to verse 37 like I was at earlier. It says, but it shall come to pass, Deuteronomy 28:15, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And then it goes on to list all the curses. Now, the one that is relevant for this lesson that stands out is Deuteronomy 28:37, and it says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord Yahweh have scattered thee. So the Lord scattered us among all nations to be hated, okay? And this is part of the curses, part of the punishment, okay? And, it's upon us forever. It says, let's read this right here. Let's jump down a bit. Deuteronomy 28:43. The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. So who is the people that are low in society, in this world at the moment, at the bottom of society, packed in ghettos, with the poorest education, we get the poorest education, so on and so on, man. There's a lot of things that show that, we're at the bottom of society. It says in verse 44, it says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. So, Jake ain't got nothing, okay? The heathen nations, they have plenty, but we don't have nothing, man. It says in verse 45, it says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed. And right now we are destroyed, man. Slavery destroyed us. Mentally, physically, everything. Okay, this is why Jake acts the way he does. Because we're under curses, okay? So there's a reason behind our behavior as a nation. Okay, because we're not looked at in the best of light, man. Okay? There's all kind of stereotypes and bywords and proverbs about us, just like the Lord said would happen, right? It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So our children are always gonna, and our children's children and our children's children, whatever, forever, man. Our whole lineage forever will be at the bottom of society, and it will cleave to us as a sign as to who we are and what we did until we acknowledge our offense. Okay, it says in verse 47, because thou servest not Yahweh thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So we have to go to the enemies, which are the heathens, for want of all things. If you want a license, you have to go to them. If you want food, you have to go to them. Water, shelter, clothing, anything, you have to go to them in want of all things. Our enemies, the Bible calls them. Right? And they literally had yokes of iron upon our neck when we were in slavery. So these curses fit us, not those people in our land right now. They don't fit none of them curses, man. All right? So moving on. I'm going to show you another clip, and then we're going to bust out a few more precepts, okay? Because these people hate us with a passion, and they will not leave us alone. Check this out, man. Always harassing us. Check this out.
Can you leave me alone, please? I am with my children. Can you both get away from me? I am with my children, okay? I'm staying with Cayman Luxury Villas, and they are...
property, that's fine.
Can you leave me alone? I just told you, sir, I am staying here. I don't know why you're presuming we're not staying here. Can you leave me alone? What is going on? I'm going to report you to the police, sir. Please leave me alone. Can she stop filming my children?
Tell me where you stand.
I'm not telling you where I'm staying. Can you please leave me alone? My son is disabled. I don't want him to get aggravated because of this behavior. Stop filming my children. Stop filming my children. Right, Sienna, get out of the pool. Get out of the pool. I'm calling the police. This is harassment. What is wrong with you people?
We're gonna get the police here. Call.
Please go away. Stop filming my children. Miss Shino, take the children in the house, please. That is disgusting behaviour. Oh my good, Miss Shino, bring him round.
See, they hate us just existing. Just breathing annoys them, okay? Especially if we're having fun. If they see us having fun, it's over. It's a wrap, okay? They're all over us, harassing us and causing trouble, man, okay? But the Bible said that the earth was given into their hands. So they do prance around the world feeling like it's theirs, and that we don't belong in their world no matter what we do, right? The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24 says that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not, where and who is he? So the real judges of the earth are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the biblical Israelites, and they whitewashed those images, man. They gave you white Jesus. They made the angels and the apostles so-called white people, okay? That's how they covered the faces of the judges, okay? But the point is that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The Lord gave them rulership over the earth, okay? Because we went off. You know, this is why we're at the bottom. The Lord gave it to our worst #1 enemy as a way to punish us, okay? But they've done their job well, and they're still doing their job well to this day. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. This is nothing out of the ordinary when you see them behave the way they're behaving. Okay? It's all ordained and approved by Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the God of the Bible. Okay? So, you know, all this is coming to an end though, right? Because the Lord's going to have mercy on us. Let's just bring that out real quick in the book of Isaiah, right? Chapter 14. And we're just going to read verse 1. Or actually, we might, maybe we'll read to about 3, right? So Isaiah 14:1, it says, "For Yahweh, the Lord in all caps is his name, which is Yahweh." It says, "For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob," see? "And yet choose Israel." We're always going to be his chosen. And he's going to have mercy on us for the things that we did to tick him off, so to speak, right? Because we angered the Lord and he punished us by putting us under curses. But the Bible says that the Lord will have mercy on Jacob. See? So he's going to eventually have mercy on us, and these curses are not going to be on us anymore. So fret not, you know, don't panic. Peace, be still, man. All right? And understand what the Bible says. Lean upon what prophecy says. It says, "And will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land." We're going to have sovereignty. We're going to have our own land rather than be scattered among these wretched people, man. It says, "And the strangers shall be joined with them, which are the strangers of the Israelites." It says, "And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." It says in verse 2, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids." So they're going into slavery, man. Okay? We went into slavery, so now it's their turn. "Thus saith the Lord." We're reading it, man. "For servants and handmaids." It says, "And they shall take them captives," whose captives they were. So this is the outcome. You know, the story of earth and how the Lord created everything is so beautiful, man. It's perfect. You know, because there's a happy ending for our people after all the suffering that we've had to endure. And it's forever going to go down in the records, the history of this earth, man. It says, "And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." And this is what the kingdom of heaven is about. Justice. The Lord's going to restore balance, and he's going to bring karma to those that have mistreated us, okay? Especially Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. So verse 3, I'm going to end it here. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve." See, because we're still in bondage. We're still in captivity unto this day, man. And it's a hard bondage that we have to serve. But we're serving it. We're enduring because we're strong. And, you know, ultimately, if we come back to the Lord, he's going to forgive us and put us above these heathen, man. Okay? Check this out. Let's bring out another one.
You're ignorant.
I mean, I can be ignorant, I can be whatever you decide to be. I decide to sit where I feel.
Whatever.
If you feel you're uncomfortable, then leave. Simple as that. I mean, it's a bench. I mean, you could act like I'm not even right here. Like I'm acting like you're not right here. You started talking to me. I didn't acknowledge you.
I would never sit right down and interfere with
I don't
somebody else.
have, I mean, I'm not interfering in your space at all. We're in public.
It's a bench right there.
And, I mean, if you felt uncomfortable,
Why you
you
don't feel
could.
like you can sit over there?
I mean, why you don't feel like you can sit over there? I mean, now I'm a jackass, but if I was to call you an old fuck, then I'd be
You can
wrong,
call
right?
me an old fuck, 'cause I'm an old fuck.
Right,
You're just
and
a
you can
jackass.
call me a jackass, but I'm not a jackass.
Here you are.
I mean, okay, if you feel like that, to each his own. I mean, type to your own shit.
What do you do for a living?
Professional
Sell
athlete.
drugs?
No,
Yeah, you sell drugs.
I be on TV.
You sell drugs.
No, I wish.
You sell drugs.
I wish I sell drugs.
Yeah, you sell drugs.
I wish.
Professional athlete? You're not a professional
Yeah.
athlete.
I'm a professional athlete.
So this is what the world sees us as, man. You know, it's exactly my point. You know, the world hates us. They have all these proverbs and bywords, just like the Bible said. Oh, you're a drug dealer. Hey, that's a proverb about us, man, that black people sell drugs, right? Because, you know, we're hated And this is a pure example of it, man. Let me run that back slightly.
You sell drugs.
No, I wish.
You sell drugs.
I wish I sell drugs.
Yeah, you sell drugs.
I wish.
Professional athlete. You're not a professional
Yeah.
athlete.
I'm a professional athlete. I wish I sold drugs.
You wish you were. You think you're a professional athlete. What sport do you play?
I'm a bare knuckle fighter.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I'm not a drug dealer, sorry. I look like a drug dealer?
Yeah, you do.
No. How does a drug dealer look?
Yeah, you do.
That's great that you feel like that. You look like you sell cocaine.
Huh?
You look like you sell cocaine.
Yeah, right. Never had cocaine in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell that. You look like you sell.
That's a young man's drug.
That's a rich white man drug.
I can't put up with your fucking bullshit.
Hey, you have a
You'll
nice
force me
day.
right out of you.
Bye bye.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet
Have a nice
you
day.
I bet you are.
Have a
I
nice
bet
day,
you
my
are.
man.
Fucking idiot.
You have a nice day.
Oh, man.
Yes, sir. Love ya.
I don't love you.
I love you.
You.
Fuck you too, buddy. See you later, buddy.
Next time I see you, you put the story.
Yeah, it's gonna be you speaking to me and you going about your business. Have a nice day.
Fuck you.
Thank you. Love you.
Fuck you.
Love you, buddy.
See, we're just numb to it. We're used to it, man. These devils hating us, you know? At the end of the day, you just have fun with it. We know that everything we do just bothers the hell out of these devils. So just smile, keep living and bothering them, okay? Keep existing in their presence. They hate it. But, you know, I got more precepts I'm going to bring out. You know, this lesson is going to be longer, but unfortunately, I've run out of time. I got to run back into the plantation. I'm actually late. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 60 and verse 14 through 15. It says, "The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despised thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet. And they shall call thee the city of Yahweh, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel." So this is what the Lord is going to make them do, okay? Because right now they can't stand us, as you saw in that previous clip. But there's coming a time, thus saith the Lord, you know, we're reading it. There's coming a time where it says, the sons also of them that afflicted thee, right? All these nations that hate us, especially Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despised thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet. That's talking about us, man. They're going to come bending unto us, man, okay? Because we're going to be on top. Everyone right now, they love to kiss the so-called white man's behind, okay? Because he's at top. You know, even though he's base, you know, there are people that their race of people are ugly as hell. You know, they're weird as hell. They'd have a very bad rep. They're goofy. They're no rhythm. They're just base, okay? But because they're at top, everyone kisses their butt. But wait till we're on top. Because a lot of people will be wanting to be like us, you know, and look up to us, even in our captivity. How much more when we're in rulership, man? That's why they're going to come bowing themselves at the sole of our feet. It says, "And they shall call thee the city of Yahweh, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel," meaning everyone's going to acknowledge that we are the children of the Lord, man, and that we're the superior race. It's going to be common knowledge soon. Verse 15, it says, "Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations." See, so the Lord about to flip it, man. Okay, he's going to put us on top and have these heathen worship the ground we walk on soon, man. And that's forever, okay? An eternal excellency is going to make us. And a joy of many generations, see? So it's a happy ending, you know, for us. Let's turn to the book of Job, chapter 8 and verse 22. It says, they that hate thee shall be clothed with shame. Hence the title of this lesson. It says, and the dwelling place of the wicked shall come to naught. Because the Lord said, you know, they shall build, but I will throw down. The Lord about to throw everything down that they've built, man. Okay? Because we're not patching this place up and taking over what Esau has built. No, it's getting scrapped, everything. And then we're going to really show people what this earth is made of and how this, you know, what a paradise this earth was really meant to be. We're going to show the world, man. Okay. That's why people are going to worship the ground we walk on. Because when they see the difference between Esau's rulership, this freak show, this clown show that he's got going on, you know, when people see the difference between this and what we got coming, you know, when we're ruling, it's going to be very clear who the devil was and that the devil was right under their nose the whole time. So it says, Job 8:22, they that hate thee, right, these heathen shall be clothed with shame. They're going to be ashamed that they were so damn racist and hateful toward us, man, when they finally realize how much they've been deceived by the nation of Edom, how he's deceived the whole world into thinking that they're special and that we're the scum of the earth, when it's actually the opposite way around. It's going to become common knowledge soon, man. Just wait for it. Right? So let's quickly turn to the book of Psalms, chapter 109. And we're going to read verse 14 through 16. It says, let the iniquity of his fathers be remembered with Yahweh. Talking about the so-called white man and nation of Edom. Okay, all the crimes of their ancestors. Hey, the Lord ain't forgot about that just because it was in the past. These devils love to say, oh, that was in the past. Let it go. Let's move on. You still talking about that? like Donald Trump. You still talking about Epstein? He's been dead for ages. You know? As a way to try and escape the heat, you know? But these devils ain't escaping, man, because all the crimes of their past that their ancestors committed, which was ultimately them in the first place, if you understand reincarnation. But all the crimes of their past, they haven't paid for, man. Okay, they're not in trouble as other men. So, you know, the Lord has been building up a tab for them, and he's going to utterly destroy them in the very near future. So it don't matter any suffering and persecution that we're going through. Hey, they're going to get theirs in the end, man. And that's 100% fact. 144% fact. It says, let the iniquity of his fathers be remembered with Yahweh, and let not the sin of his mother be blotted out. Okay? Just like you want to remember 9/11, hey, we remember all the crimes that all the wickedness you've done in the earth and what you've done to us. We remember that, and we're never going to forget it, okay? And the Lord ain't going to forget it either, man. That's why it says, let them be before Yahweh continually, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth. And that's going to happen. These people are going into extinction. Okay, read Obadiah 1:18, as well as many other precepts that back that up, man. The Edomite is out of here. You know, which proves that salvation isn't for everybody, okay? Verse 16, it says, because that he remembered not to show mercy, but persecuted the poor and needy man, that's us, that he might even slay the broken in heart. See, we're the ones that are broken in heart, man, because we've done nothing but suffer, you know, since we've known, you know, we've been suffering for a very, very long time under these heathen, man. Constantly going into captivity after captivity, you know, and this being the final captivity under Esau Edom. But, you know, he didn't show any mercy, so he's not going to get any mercy himself. The scriptures speak about that. You know, there's a scripture, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll pull it up post-production, man. You know, because they showed no mercy, they're going to get no mercy, okay? That's what's getting ready to happen to the Edomite, okay? As well as these heathen, man. All right. So, let's quickly turn to the book of Job, chapter 27. And we're going to read verse 13. Oops. We're going to read verse 13 through 15. It says, "This is the portion of a wicked man with the Most High," talking about the Edomite, "and the heritage of oppressors," the Edomites, "which they shall receive of the Almighty." See, the Lord is going to dish out his judgment upon these devils, man, for all the things that they've done to us. It says, if his children, this is what's going to happen to them, right? It says, if his children be multiplied, it is for the sword. See? So they're gonna die in this nuclear holocaust, man. The Lord is fattening them up for the slaughter, letting them have baby after baby so that they can all burn. Okay? And it says, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread, because they're going into slavery. It says in verse 15, it says, those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep, because after many days they're going to be visited. You know, they're gonna be out of here. Okay, after they've served their slavery, cleaned up the mess they've made, and built the foundation of our kingdom. After we use them for slave labor, after the 1,000 years is up, goodbye, and you will not be missed. That's why it says, those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep, because your women aren't going to give a damn about you, okay? Once you start getting slaughtered, they ain't going to cry, because they're going to see that Jake is superior. Esau was always a loser. You know, it's not a good time to be a Edomite man. Okay. Your women are not going to miss you, because they're going to realize what a scumbag you was the whole time, right? They're only with you right now because you're on the top. But they still want Jake, even in our captivity, man. They still want the so-called blacks and the Latinos and Native Americans, but mainly the so-called black man. You know, all these women, they all like the so-called black man. Esau's the so-called white woman. All right. So,
Ahora sí, vamos a tomar un minuto de silencio. Vamos a tomar un minuto de silencio, amigos. Queremos tomar un minuto de silencio por la mamá de un árbitro de nuestro amigo Octavio que falleció. Y vamos a tomar un minuto de silencio.
see, no one takes you devils serious anymore, man. Throwing your little tantrums, thinking you got some authority, you're losing your authority. Okay? Your so-called white privilege card is coming to an end. It's expired, man. No one likes you. No one's really taking you serious. I mean, you people are no threat to us. You're having your little tantrums and all that. Who cares, man? You're just making yourself look ridiculous. The whole world is looking at you sideways right now. Okay? Because everyone realizes that everyone's starting to realize that you are the problem. So-called black people and Mexicans uniting, right? The Israelites, the tribes uniting for whatever they're doing. I don't know, but they're all together, minding their business, having a good time. And here comes Karen. You can always you can always rely on Karen to try to ruin the day, man. These people, boy.
You have a permit. If you don't, you cannot sell here. I told you that before. Get a permit. Did you get it? You have a permit? Answer me. Or I will call the cops and they will ask you.
You Edomites are pathetic, okay? Your days are done. No one likes you. No one takes you serious. You're just a nuisance at this point. And you're base as hell, and everyone's starting to see it, man. You people are going out bad. And now look, they're letting off fireworks or shooting guns or something, and watch her. She shifts her attention. This woman's staying busy, boy. Everything's just vexing these devils, man. You can't breathe. You can't be happy. You can't exist in their presence without it bothering them, man. Especially if you're speaking Spanish. You speaking with a Spanish. You're speaking not a Spanish accent, but you're actually speaking Spanish in their presence. Boy, they hate that. This is America. You're supposed to speak English. Goddamn devils, boy. Okay, when you go to Mexico on your little holiday, yeah, no speaking English then. Goddamn devils. Yeah, everyone's sick of you people, man. You gotta go.
En esta ocasión, y vamos a escuchar, damas y caballeros, el himno nacional de Estados Unidos, y que vengan los aplausos.
Oh man, what a joke. You Edomites are through, man. Absolutely cooked. You people are cooked to the max. Let's bring out, okay, I got 2 more precepts. This is the book of Zechariah. All right, chapter 14 and verse 12. It says, "And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem." And Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. This is talking about the biblical Hebrew Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. So this is the plague that the Lord is going to smite all the people that have fought against us, okay? All these racist devils and these heathen that hate us. This is their reward for their hate, their hatred, man. It says, "Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth." Nuclear destruction, okay? You people are going to be left there during this nuclear holocaust that's coming. I don't know about you, but I'm hoping to get a ride on a chariot. You know what I mean? And I have a better chance. I stand a better chance than you heathen, because ain't no heathen getting on no chariot. Okay, and if you see people going up into the chariot that look like heathens, it's because they're not heathens. It's because they're us. They're our people disguised as heathens. But you people of the world are not wise enough to understand that. Okay. But yeah, so when it says their flesh consume away while they stand on their feet, what other thing can do that? What other weapon is there that exists that can cause that? It's the ICBM nuclear missiles, okay? When America gets destroyed, the Lord gonna leave in America everyone that, you know, that's on his hit list, basically, okay? Everyone else will be delivered. That's what salvation is, okay? So for us to be delivered and from the hand of our enemies, man, okay? Because we got to get the heck away from these people. They can't stand us and we can't stand them, and we need separation from them, and that's coming by the way of the Lord when he delivers us, okay? So one more precept. It's the book of Luke chapter 1, and we're going to start at verse 68 and we're going to read through 75. "Blessed be the Lord, power of Israel." Okay, because he's our power and none else. Okay, so you can go ahead and read Joel 2 and 27. He's our God and none else. These other nations, they have their own gods, false gods at that. They have their own false gods. Our God is the true living power of the Holy Bible. He's not the God of everybody. He's the God of Israel. It says it right here. "Blessed be the Lord, power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people." His people, not anyone that calls on Jesus. That's not how it goes, all right? That's a deception from the Christian church. Them Christians, they don't know the Bible. Verse 69, and have raised up an horn of salvation for us. Us is possessive. That's the Israelites in the house of his servant David, okay? It says, and that horn of salvation is Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. He came for the nation of Israel. It says, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. So this is how the Lord, this is how the Lord speaks. It's through his prophets, okay? And, what we're bringing out in these end times, this new song, it's unfamiliar to the rest of the world. They ain't in tune with this song, okay? Because they're not of the elect, if they don't understand this gospel or if they don't believe it. If you want to stay with the doctrine of Christianity, hey, you just gonna have to be destroyed and come back on the other side, man. Anyway, it says, verse 71, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. That's what salvation is, okay? It's not whether you go to heaven or hell. There ain't no place called hell, all right? So what we need salvation from is from these devils and these heathen, man, all these people that hate us and are constantly got their foot on our neck, keeping us at the bottom, keeping us down. The Lord said he's going to have mercy on us. So then there's no need for these heathen to hold us down anymore. Their job is done. Then it comes time for their judgment. Esau's out of here. The rest of the heathen, they get to go free and enjoy the world that we've created. It says in verse 72, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he swore to our father Abraham. Okay, because that's what it's all about. It's all about the seed of Abraham, which is the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, whether people want to believe it or not, doesn't matter. Everyone will find out sooner or later, man. It says in verse 74 that he would grant unto us that we, being delivered out of the hands of our enemies, might serve him without fear, in holiness and righteousness before him all the days of our life. And that's what we want, man. That's what we're hoping for, is to be delivered from these heathen, man. Okay, because we can't have real life with them on top. It just never gonna work. There ain't gonna be no peace. The Lord ain't come to bring peace, okay? He come to bring separation. He came to separate the sheep from the goats, all right? The children of Israel from these heathen. So I got one more clip I'm gonna close out this lesson with, and Lord willing, you've been edified. I just want to play this one. It's about 5 minutes long, but I'm just gonna close it out with this. So on that note, I'm gonna close it out here. I want to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha, Qudash, Shalom.
If you are from Detroit or Warren, Michigan, or you're ever just in Warren, please listen up, especially if you're black. The Burger King on 10 Mile and Ryan, right next to the Huntington, right across from the Wendy's, is a racist ass, anti-black ass establishment ran by an envious ass, racist ass, anti-black bitch. When I started working there, I quickly learned that there is not a lot of black employees there, and the ones that were there were treated like fucking garbage and trash right in front of my face, you guys. I mean, me and the GM would fucking argue almost every other day over the stupidest shit that she would fucking say. And honestly, I held off on making this video for so fucking long, but truly justice needs to be served, because this place needs to be boycotted at all costs. And I honestly don't think that the fucking owner deserves to be making any money, because he's just as much as a piece of shit, because he's complicit in this. I have a friend named Ray, and we worked together there for months. Ray is amazing and would do nothing but her fucking work, you guys. I mean, she was always ready to fucking work, like seriously. Like, I mean, she was fast at her job. She knew what the fuck she was doing. She knew what they were looking for. Like, she did her job and she did it good. And for no reason at all would my general manager, Nancy, be making racist ass comments to her along with her sidekick, Isabel. Mind you, you guys, these two women are Middle Eastern, unfortunately. They're not YT. They would say the most fucked up shit to Ray. Like, I swear, they would call her a stupid monkey hoe, like, every fucking day. Like, that was literally the nickname they gave her. Like, that's literally stupid monkey hoe. What? Anytime, like, black customers would come in, Nancy would literally ask me to take their fucking order. Surprise, surprise, she's married to a black man who, by the way, is a cop, and their love story is when they met, he pulled her over and she called him the N-word. And then that's how their love story started. That's just the kind of bitch she literally is. Earlier this year, there was things all over the news and everywhere on social media about two young black men, two different states, who got lynched, hate crimed, fucking hate crimed. And in response to me posting something, she literally came to me and was like, why are you posting about that? Like, they do worse things to white tea people. Like, bitch, you're not even white. That's the gag, you guys. That's the embarrassing fucking part. I just feel so fucking bad for Ray, you guys, because she was seriously treated like fucking shit. Like, I remember one day she came in with the wrong shoes, but when I tell you, everybody in that store had the wrong shoes on, but they made her go home. Like, it was so sad. I mean, them saying the N-word was just the least of the shit that they would be saying, and that's disgusting. That's sad. And it's really sad as Middle Easterns that we come into a country built off the backs of black Americans and then treat them like fucking garbage when we would not have rights if it wasn't for them. She would literally refer to people wearing black cultural hairstyles as like, that's ghetto. Like, cultural hairstyles like cornrows, box braids, like, are you fucking joking? Like, that's a whole culture, bitch. Guys, by the way, here is a photo of Nancy, the GM. She looks like a fucking alien. So yeah, if you see her at Burger King, this is who the bitch is. It's just really sad how people get into these like interracial relationships with black men or black women and then completely disrespect their community. Because if you truly loved your significant other, you would care about their rights, their human rights, and that applies to the whole entire community. I'm gonna tag my girl Ray below, you guys. Please go give her some love. Yeah, and if you guys want me to tag Nancy, I will. If you want me to tag Isabel, I will. They're both very complicit in this. Please boycott this Burger King location. Yeah. And on behalf of the Middle Eastern community, Ray, I'm so sorry that you had to endure this. This is terrible representation, but unfortunately it does represent the extreme anti-blackness problem that's in the Middle Eastern community that needs to be dismantled. We're not all like this. Yeah. Please, you guys, before coming into a country that's built off of black Americans, can we just stop being so fucking disrespectful? Thank you.